Hello, Robotics Notes fans. Happy June 10th, and welcome to the first episode of Playing Robotics Notes Elite like Animal Crossing. This is a series that is going to go for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, where we will be playing Robotics Notes via the daily records in real time. So June 10th, we are going to play June 10th. June 11th, we are going to play June 11th. So on and so forth. Ignore the dates on the save files for now, because I am working on something else that also involves going back to certain days in Robotics Notes. But as of right now, it is 12:41 a.m. on June 10th, the first day of Robotics Notes, which means it is the first day to do this series. The 8 months starts. Was it 8 months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9. 9 months starts now. I am going to be talking over the voice acting, which seems criminal because the voice acting in Robotics Notes is very good. But unfortunately, if I didn't, this series would just be me uploading raw gameplay of the thing, because it's all voice acting. So I am going to be doing my crappy English talk over the much better in-game Japanese audio. So my sincerest I might let the Japanese audio play out and then read the lines. I don't know. I'm gonna do how I feel. This is the first episode. We can fiddle with things if they don't work. So here we go. I'm going to hit A on the daily records for June 10th, and we will get right into this. Load save data. Yes. Phase 1, Chromosphere Inductor. Please set date. Date set. That's today's date. And the update's finished. Not that I have a clue what's changed. Checking voice recognition. Please say something to the screen. Sir, why did you just say blah? Sir, we need more concrete sentences for the voice recognition. Yeah. My name is Kaito Yashio. Oh my god. I thought it was Yashiro. Like Yashiro. Oh my god. I have to rewrite a whole thing. This will make sense on the 28th. There's a different thing I'm making. And I've been calling Kaito by the wrong full name the entire time. Good. General course student in class 3-2 at Central Tanegashima High, number 26. My grades are mediocre at best. As for club activities, I belong to the Robot Research Club. Kind of. Funny, considering I don't know jack about robots. Actually, my real-life field of expertise is video games. Wait. Huh? The post-update info messages have already disappeared from the screen. I guess I spent too much time yammering. I let out a tiny sigh and leave the dimly lit Robotics Research Club room. A refreshing early summer breeze blows by. It's like night and day compared to that cramped hot room. The moment I step outside, I stop sweating. With the cool breeze washing over my entire body, I take a look at the surrounding scenery on my phone droid. We usually see lots of typhoons this time of year, but today seems like a nice day. The sky extends high and wide, endlessly blue. It's already turning the color of summer. This place is about 40 kilometers south of Kagoshimima's Asumi Peninsula. I live here in Tanegashima, right next to the Yakushima, right next to Yakushima, famous for being a World Heritage Site. This island, on the other hand, isn't really noteworthy outside of matchlock rifles and our rocket launch site. Central Tanegashima High is right at the center of the island. It's one of the only 2 high schools in the area, actually. Over 10 years ago, there was an anime set here that got popular, but that's our only real point of pride. I suppose I'll give it a test drive now that it's updated. Kai! I didn't need to do that one. That one... See, people say learning Japanese is so hard, but I understood the audio of that one right away. It's then that I hear a voice in the distance calling for me by my nickname. There are only a handful of people who call me that. Looks like our precious club president is back. Perfect timing. I'll lock onto her with my phone droid. Something very funny about the Aki.png with no shadow whatsoever, just floating on top of the school lawn. Akio Sonomiya shows up at just the right moment as I capture her within the screen of my phone droid. We're in the same grade. She's what you'd call a childhood friend. We go by the nicknames Kai and Aki-chan. Are you playing games again? Wrong. Iro got updated, so I was testing it out. Aki-chan, how do you feel about cat ears? I boot up cat ear mode from among the app icons on Iro. Alright. Here we go. Cracking my knuckles there. Don't know if the mic picked it up. Meow meow. Heh. This thing is pretty awesome. Not only does it add cat ears to her head, but it also gives her a maid outfit. I wish I could be as carefree as you, Kai. Kai is me, of course. Short for Kaito. Akiho lets out a sigh and takes a sip from the bottle in her hand. It took a little while for the voice acting to show up for that one. It's hard times like this when we should be working together. Oh wait, hold on. I need to get a... Oh wait, no, I can't. So, I regret to inform you all, I have an 8-bit Do Pro 2 wired controller. It's a really great controller. I like it very muchly. But unfortunately, the screenshot button broke. Like, I got one where the sticks were super broke, and then I sent it back, and I got a... What the fuck was that? Thing just lit up. Anyways, I got another one, and the screenshot button on this one's broke, but I didn't want to send it back again, so I just accepted that I don't have a screenshot button. Anyways, please get a screenshot of this for me. Thank you. These are hard times. Can't you tell? Akio points to the robot club room located next to the soccer club equipment storehouse. I love this zoom in. I was replaying through this really recently for the thing I'm working on, and that zoom in got me so hard for some reason. It got me, comma, so hard. Not, I wasn't erect. I guess people assumed this little shed would never be used as a proper club room. Our space has 2 rooms, but one is used for storage, so the only one that can hold actual people is the left room. That said, it's way too cramped with 2 people inside. Try and relax there, I dare you. Even worse, we only have a single lamp, no AC. It's too cold in the winter and too hot every other season. If hard times refers to being forced to spend time in the club room, then I totally get why Akiho would say that. But hey, at least the lawn's pretty comfy. Comfy. Not comfy. On days when it's not raining anyways. That's not the issue. Cat Akiho. I like that Cat Akiho is a proper noun. Cat Akiho dejectedly returns to the club room after hearing my response. She sits on one of the only 2 round chairs in the room and takes a sip of her juice again. As I enter, sweat beads form on my forehead. Sorry. I was in the middle of reading that sentence and I thought it said sweet beads, and I was like, that's funny. I had a whole conversation in my head where I'm like, it's sweet beads, and I was like, why did I laugh at that? And then that made me think of sweetie. And then it made me think of the okay sweaty. Summer's only just started. I'm gonna die when it gets going. Tell me about it. Did you go to see the vice principal again? I did. She was in a meeting, so I didn't get to talk to her. Again. She's way too busy. Are you sure she isn't just avoiding you? As soon as the school year started, the Robot Club had its budget annihilated. As the president, Akiho's been doggedly negotiating for club funds, but I can tell they aren't taking her seriously. That said, the fault probably lies in Akiho for ridiculously demanding a tenfold increase last year. Must be rough being the club president. You gotta deal with all sorts of things. It is hard, but it's also fulfilling. Akiho smiles grimly and thrusts her fists into the air. Meow! I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little panicked, though. Atta girl. You're acting like you aren't involved. You and I are the only 2 left in the Robot Club. Do you realize that? The Central Tanegashima High Robot Research Club, also known as the Robot Club. Its history goes 9 years back. It all started when a girl named Masaki Sonomiya, a first-year student at the time. Yes, that's right. She's the older sister of the girl pouting in front of me right now. I call her Misane. She made the Robot Research Association. Association? Oh my god, I did pronounce that right. I thought I pronounced that wrong, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's association. Oh, I said association. That's what I said wrong. Association. Then a year later, it became a club in recognition of its achievements. In its golden days, we had nearly 20 members. It even won Robo 1 in a Tokyo Hobby Robot Tourney 8 years ago. That was then. Now the club is on the? Why is the capitalized? Now the club is on thin ice. If it wasn't obvious from our club room and total of 2 members. Well, sure, but come on. You know I don't really care about robots. I understand. I've been trying to brainwash you since forever, but it still hasn't worked. That's me trying to get people to play robotics notes. When Akio says brainwash, she means her efforts to get me to watch all kinds of robot anime. Probably. If anything, her doing it nonstop since elementary school has had the opposite effect. I don't want to touch the stuff. While your enthusiasm is praiseworthy, you should realize that your efforts are pointless. Huh? They are? That's right. The fact that there have been 0 new club members for 2 years in a row is evidence of that. Ah, I see. Hee-ho. Until a few years ago, it was a prestigious club, but the rep is so low now that people call it worthless. Ironic, considering the rest of the world is going through a robot boom. Till last year, the tech prep room in the main building was our home. It had issues. It was too dark, but it was better than this. But listen, guy, it's just like he always said. Bloop. Akio quickly puts on her red frame glasses. By the way, these glasses are just for show. There's the blittle up sound effect. I was a little early. It isn't over yet. Oh my gosh. That sharp breathe in bodied my throat. Gee willikers. The he she's referring to is a character from a super famous robot anime. He doesn't actually exist. You're as ridiculously optimistic as ever, Aki-chan. Really? Hee-ho. But maybe you should learn from me. Oh, and by the way, can you not put cat ear zombie without asking? So you're saying if I asked, there's a possibility you'd say yes. Aw, come on. It's cute. Meow, meow. Ugh. I'm gonna get mad. Delete the app. Fine, fine. I was getting tired of the thing anyways. Plus it was free. I'll live. I turned cat ear mode off and delete it from my phone droid. I leave the club room behind me as I sit down in the shade of a nearby tree. This is my special after-school spot. It's way more comfortable than the club room, as long as it's not raining. It's part of my daily routine to sit here and game. Now that the IROU... No, that doesn't sound right either. I'm just going to keep going Itero. Update is finished. It's about time I get started. I whip out my phone droid and boot up Kill Ballad from among the apps. Kill Ballad, start! Wonder what the leaderboards are looking like. First thing I always do after starting up Kill Ballad is check the leaderboards. Oh boy. As usual. Can't help but sigh. For the record, my account is UmiShow. In other words, I'm ranked 5th in the world right now. Apparently, Kill Ballad has about 20 million active users worldwide. So being number 5 is pretty amazing. The top hasn't changed for about a half a year. I want to be the best, so it sucks that I can't break those 4. As you can see, Kill Ballad is a fighting game based on Gunvarel. It's part of the recent worldwide robot boom I mentioned earlier. Plus, it's based on a legendary robot anime, a huge hit still worshipped as a godly masterpiece around the world. The game was released on Phone Droid as a platform everyone owns. It's an indie game that somehow got a movie tie-in license with this universe's equivalent of what I'm presuming is Mobile Suit Gundam. But trust me, it's an indie game, we swear. But its combat is crazy deep. These qualities helped Kill Ballad become a huge success, downloaded 50 million times worldwide. That's KB. Honestly, because of Akiho, I still have no interest in Gunvarel. I'm just addicted to Kill Ballad as a game. There are even lots of students who play it at school. And yet nobody even bats an eye at our little club. It's pretty sad. Whoa! I recognize the handle of I recognize the handle name of the player I matched against. Frau Kojiro. This is the creator of Kill Ballad. They're a genius programmer shrouded in complete mystery. All anybody knows is that they created Kill Ballad. This is my first time getting matched with them. That said, I'd heard rumors that the game's creator was playing online. I guess they were true. To face the creator head to head is an honor. I'm starting to get hyped. I correct my sitting posture and focus. Show me your moves. KB doesn't use a stick for inputs, because phones don't have those. It has a combo system that involves timed button pressing in succession. In general, as long as there's no input error, once the first hit lands, you'll link the rest of the combo together. That said, some of the combos have pretty harsh timing requirements, which means you need a good eye. Look at that harsh timing requirement of 33 seconds to press 6 buttons. Look at those harsh timing requirements. You need a good eye. And it's not like your opponent is just going to sit around and let you land a hit. Once you enter the top 10 world rankings, battles mostly become about reading your opponent. Being countered and crushed before you can do much is the norm. Reading your opponent and countering counters is key. In fighting games, it's all about choices made down to the single frame. You gotta read and make the right choice. That's what determines who wins or loses. Of course, that's not everything. You gotta consider character specs, plus the issues lag raises, but mastery down to a single frame. That's the height of skill for a fighting gamer. I say that, but it's probably impossible to distinguish individual frames by eye. Either way, you basically just have to constantly be watching your opponent's moves. Nonchalant advances, retreats, and even crouches are all parts of the puzzle. You have to be able to read into that. The second you take your eyes off the opponent, they'll strike at an opening. You can never let your guard down. It's also important to be able to make out a player's habits. Being able to see patterns faster changes your accuracy. By the way, I'm not trying to brag, but my reaction time's pretty good. I think I average about 4 frames when reacting by sight. I can come up with 4 moves within 8 frames. This is about my average. When I'm in the zone, I can deduce the winning option within those 8 frames. 2 moves are common textbook options. One is about getting ahead of the opponent's intentions. The last utilizes a super difficult combo to confuse them. I pick one of these 4 patterns depending on the situation. The confusion combo looks cool, but has no real practical use. Sometimes at top rankers just gotta show off, right? Regardless, if I have 8 frames, I can crush any technique that comes my way. Well, if I see it coming. Like I explained earlier, a real fight is about reading moves, and that means stuff doesn't always go according to plan. Anyways, cracking my knuckles. Let's get this party started. Hey, thanks. It's an honor to meet you. Don't go too hard on me. Hello? Guess they don't use Voicha. My favorite flavor of tea. Alright, let's see these harsh timing requirements. Huh, they're attacking pretty normally. They're playing by the books, but it isn't much fun. It's too easy to come up with ways to react. Maybe that's the downside of being the creator. Oh, my bad. Oh man, look at these harsh timing requirements. A. Why? Then, crap, what comes after why? Why? My... I just need to... why? It's too hard. X. Success. Big suckus. Ow. You win. That's it. Good fight. I should record these at midnight. You have a good read on the specifics of the game. I'd expect nothing less from its creator. However, your attacks were way too orthodox. You were too easy to read. It also ended up being a benefit to me that we both used the same robot. It's called a mech, you fucking plebeian. Oh? Sent me a message even though they were ignoring my voicha? What's the deal? I should open it. My bad for the sudden message. Lol. Send messages because I never use voice chats. I hate to say this, but people suspect you might be cheating. Umi Shoshi said your reaction times seemed physically impossible. I mean, that's what the person who reported you said. Lol. Crap. If you have anything to say about the authenticity of this rumor, please let me know. What the hell is this? Me use cheats? Like hell. What a ridiculous accusation. Gee Willikers. As a fighting game player, being suspected of cheating is the ultimate blow to my pride. Get the hell out of here. I do not cheat. I log off without replying to the message. Who made up such a stupid lie and reported me for cheating? I'm really pissed off now. If Frau Kojiro is the creator, then I can just check my account and settle it that way. Wouldn't find a thing. Hell, the people ranked above me are way more suspicious if we're talking about cheaters. I'm not being jealous, I swear. After fighting them countless times, I've got a feel for how they move and play. That's why I'm so confident in my assertion. I can tell whether someone's cheating or not after one match. Ugh, it's turning into a bit of a rant. I need to stop while I'm ahead. I look up from the screen, stretch, and put away my phone droid. Don't have much to do, so I stare out at the scenery. The leaves rustle above my head. There are no students on the courtyard lawn or in the informatics classroom nearby. As for sports clubs, they've all gone to practice at Nakatane-cho Central Athletic Park, 20 minutes away from here. All I can hear are the cries of crows and other small birds. Sleepy Kaibi. The gentle sounds of plants rustling in the cool breeze. School is quiet after hours. It's almost as though time itself has stopped. Or perhaps time has left this place behind. Maybe it's not this school. Maybe it's the entire island that's been left behind. Who knew I was so sentimental? Hee-ho! What are you talking about? Akio leaps the club room and walks over to me. Guess she heard me talk to myself. I don't know. I just kind of had this listless feeling. Like this place has been left behind by time or something. Oh, how uncharacteristically philosophical of you. She really shouldn't admire me. In other words, I was just wondering what to do now. Shouldn't it be obvious? Akio points her fingers up at the sky. We gotta do whatever it takes to get a club budget, then complete Gun Build 1 within a year. In April, Akio made an important declaration. Her words, not mine. As president, of course, I was the only one there. The plan was to complete Gun Build Prototype Model 1, Gun Build 1, within a year before we graduate. And so she requested a tenfold increase to our budget out of nowhere. The VP flipped out and banished us here. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. We're already in our third year. Hell, we graduate in less than a year. I was wondering what comes after that. There are no colleges here. If you want to go to one, you gotta leave the island. So sleepy. As for work, going off island is the only choice. I've lived here my whole life. I left for vacations and whatnot, but I've never lived off island. I have no particular aspirations to leave either. It's more of a vague sense of insecurity at having to leave it all. I've never really given it much thought. Even though it's already June. Right now I'm focused on Gunvero. You make it sound like there was a time when you weren't. Akiho truly loves robots from the bottom of her heart. If you focus too much on that, it'll be too late and you're gonna have to wait another year to go to college. It's not like our lives are coming to an end once that robot is finished. Still got a ways ahead of us. Completing it doesn't mean we all live happily ever after, roll credits. We've got regular lives to live. Well, it'll all work out. And why are we even talking about something so boring? Guess you got a point. I think you should dream more. Follow the star of hope. I want to go for a run. Where to? Into the setting sun. You just want to run, don't you? And the sun isn't setting yet. It's about the feeling. Aki-chan, sometimes you're way too much of a positive thinker. That's not true. It's just that as long as you don't give up, you can make your dreams come true. That's what people refer to as positive thinking, Aki-chan. Don't forget that sometimes a match's results are predetermined before it even starts thanks to character stats. Huh? It's a fighting game thing. So, it's entirely true that I've done no prep when it comes to what I want to do after high school. I blame it on the illusion that time has stopped on the island. Just makes you forget about the future entirely. You end up thinking things will just go on like this forever. And I don't mean that in the sense that I hope these perfect days will never end or whatever. When time stops, so too does your ability to think. And yet even when you realize this is the case, it's still a pain in the ass to try and think about what comes next. In the end, I don't care what happens. As long as I can keep gaming. Fucking cringe. Oh, Kai, I love you. That's how I continue putting everything off. Dab. Akio stretches out as though she's putting a period on the conversation. Anyway, I'm thinking about heading to the hangar for maintenance. The Robot Club has its own hangar. The dream that Akiho and the Robot Club have been working on is stored there. Do your best, Presidente. Kai, come with me. Then you know what the deal is. Again? Of course. How many times do I have to tell you? If you want me to do something, you gotta beat me in a match. I quickly whip out my phone droid and take position. 1 round and kill ballad. You game? Ugh. Akio replies unenthusiastically and takes out her phone droid in resignation. If I win, really have to do what I say. If you win. But I doubt it, seeing as you're 0-10. 0-10 are our odds of winning. There's a 0% chance Akiho wins and a 100% chance that I walk away the victor. I chuckle to myself as I boot up Kill Ballad. Let's see if you've improved any. No holding back. Ugh. If I lose, that's 400 times in a row. Anything but that. Pretty sure you're fudging the numbers. I've won way more times than that. So that's your strat, eh? What? I messed up. Personally recommend calming down, Aki-chan. In the arms of an angel. It always hurts. And I win. Weak as always. You big jerk. Is that a banger I hear? Oops. This shit is so good. Oh, I was too far ahead. Oh no. Oh no, quick. Turn it back down before anybody notices. You big jerk. Whoa, hey. Akio suddenly starts ruffling my hair with both of her hands. She's always been like this. Whenever she gets too frustrated, she messes with my hair. What's my hair ever done to her? You never go easy on me. Who was it that said no holding back? Plus, my fighting game philosophy is to always go full power, no matter who I'm facing. I watch with a wry smile as Akio stands up and storms off into the distance. This is Akiho Sanomiya. What the fuck was that? It's 1:18 a.m. Did you guys hear that? Did that pick up on the mic? I don't even know how to react. Huh. I hope that was a firework. And if it wasn't, at least we know the exact time it happened. Okay. Whenever I come here, I can feel my spirits. I'm laughing, but it's not the funny kind. It's the yes. Whenever I come here, I can feel my spirits being lifted. Makes me want to run around like a dog, to be honest. A heroic piece of music starts playing in my mind. If I'm not careful, I'll start humming it aloud. Is it this one? Da 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 da. Bow 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 down. Bow bow bow. The old Tanegashima Airport. It's about a 10-minute walk from school. It was closed down 13 years ago and abandoned, so nobody visits it now. Hasn't been maintained for years, so the asphalt is cracked and the weeds have moved in like they own the joint. While spacious, there's not much here. No electricity and it's flat, which means the wind is super strong. I end up having to hold my skirt down. Still, it's the perfect environment for the Robot Club's hangar, except for the no electricity part. Ordinary high school students would never be able to acquire such a wide, flat piece of land with nobody in sight. The airport apron in front of my eyes is about the size of a sports grounds, and an even longer runway continues past it. From end to end, it's about 1,600 meters long. Takes around 30 minutes to walk the whole way. It's also many times wider than a standard road. This spacious sense of liberation is great. Something you can never feel on a regular roadway. Right now, Kai's lying down outstretched in the middle of the runway, phone droid in hand. Is he gaming again? After I lost to him quite soundly in our kill ballad match, Kai decided to slack away like no man has ever slacked. But you know what? He still came with me instead of going home, so I can't be too mad. He's just shy is all. Put those thoughts aside and take the key out of my pocket. The Robot Club hangar is at the edge of the airport apron. It was originally a parking garage for vehicles used to refuel fire trucks and aircrafts. You might ask, why are we using the airport's parking lot garage as a hangar? Patience. The reason is inside the building. Open hatch! Doo doo doo! Did a little editorializing there, I'm sorry. The doo-doo-doos are not canon. I say to myself as I raise the shutters and step inside. It's so dusty in here that it's making me cough. With no windows to be found, it's fairly dark. Enshrined at the center of the dark space is the materialization of the Robotics Club's sweat and tears. The life-size gun barrel prototype Model 1. Nicknamed Gun Build 1. When the Robot Club was first founded 8 years ago, it was the greatest goal, its dream. A project to build a giant robot of justice, gun barrel at life size. Also known as the Gun Build Project. It's still incomplete, so the upper and lower parts are kept, I thought I said Kent, kept apart, but it'll stand over 10 meters tall when done. The final goal is to have the pilot ride inside and move it. The club has been chipping away at this for 8 years. But to be perfectly honest, it hasn't moved even once yet. One of the reasons it's taken so long is because high school clubs don't get much in the way of funding. I have a lot of respect for the founder for having the foresight to build a huge robot before the robot boom started. I say that, but the founding member and creator of Gun Build 1's blueprints is none other than my older sister. She's got serious negotiating skills. She formed the Robot Club. She also managed to require special permission to use this old airport. She even negotiated with small workshops around the island so that she could get their scraps for free. Heck, she convinced JAXA to give the club parts. They don't need it. Parts they didn't need anymore. It's thanks to her the Robot Club is still using the old airport hangar and working on Gun Build 1 to this day. Hang on, I gotta step it. Yeah. I had to poke my cat. All around the world, huge companies are funding giant robot development. They obviously have deeper pockets than us. Compared to their robots, Gun Build 1 is a shabby, derpy-looking, poorly performing relic. But I refuse to stop working on it. I want to complete it. This is a dream I inherited from the original members of the Robot Club. My sister's dream. Speaking of my older sister, she currently works at a company in Tokyo. She doesn't live on the island anymore. The current, and perhaps last, president of the Robot Club is none other than me, her little sister. There's gotta be some sort of meaning to all this. Maybe it's fate. It must be. No matter what you do, you will always be average, Aki. Without thinking, I grab my chest. It's tight. I feel like throwing up. Shake my head and slap my cheeks with my hands. Ow! Our barrage is too weak! What are you doing? I clench both my fists and psych myself up. I pull a can of oil from the shelf in the corner and pour it onto a portable oiler. Even though Gun Build 1 has never actually moved on its own, I still can't slack on the maintenance. In fact, without exception, I bet past club members would all say that our main activity is maintenance, not building. You can't build something without parts, and we rarely get any of those. That's why there's been such little progress on that end. So, in light of that, we kill time doing maintenance. Since Kai and I are the only remaining members of the Robot Club, it falls on me to do all the maintenance myself. Once a month, I spend about an hour chipping away at this task alone. While working, I'm free from unnecessary thoughts. I just want to finish up the machine as soon as possible. Even that impatience is blown away, so I honestly don't mind this kind of work. Well, I guess I'll get to it. With the oiler in hand, I crawl onto the shin of the lower portion of Gun Build 1. It's about 1.2 meters high. From that height, I can see Kai lying down on the runway. Help me out. This isn't a warning. If you resist, I'll shoot. I hold the oiler like a gun and aim it at Kai. Special attack! Gunval Onk Striker! Zoom boom shazam! I thrust out my fist. Of course, the runway is several hundred meters away, so there's no way Kai's going to react. Futile indeed. I undo my pose. I crawl onto the knee of Gun Build 1 and pour oil through the joint, onto the cam of the servo motor. I don't know. I just kind of had this listless feeling, like this place had been left behind by time or something. I recall what Kai said earlier. Left behind, huh? Never thought I'd hear words like that from Kai. The guy who usually just games without a worry in the world. Quite frankly, I don't really get difficult stuff like that. It's not like I have time to stop and think. Sober-sized child of mine. Need to complete Gun Build 1 no matter what. If I don't finish him by graduation, there will be no Robot Club members left to inherit the task of finishing him. That's why I need to complete Gun Build 1 on my own, with my own 2 hands, using the 6 months I have left. Is this youth? I mutter the words of a certain someone in red, whom I admire, and continue pouring oil. I raise my eyes from the phone droid and see that the sky is darkened. I slowly rise up, like the gamer I am. I was too engrossed and I didn't notice how much time had passed. My head is kind of hazy. I guess my mind is still on the game. Those subtle screen shakes and that pseudo heaviness and the input response are what I'm all about. Because I was lying on the hard ground, my back hurts. I wonder if Akiho is still doing maintenance. I peek into the hangar, but I don't see any sign of her. But I can tell she's here, somewhere around the bottom portion of the robot, below the knee. Akio has crawled into a tight space with a pen light in hand and is currently doing some sort of work. Doing maintenance? What? Hey! Don't peek inside from there! Because I'll see your panties. I'll get mad if you do. What the hell was that? The light on my thing vibrated. There's a light on this controller, and it's just like randomly going off at points. And I don't know what to do. It's scary. Crouching heavy kick. She's full of openings. So I could guard, counter, and combo if I combo off 1/4 of her life. Hey, Aki-chan, I know I always say this, but I think you should stop doing work in your uniform. Akio stores an old t-shirt and shorts in the club room that she could use for messy jobs, but she barely uses them. But I forgot them in the club room. She went through the trouble of having work clothes around, but she always forgets them in the club room. Plus, I have nowhere to change. It's not like anyone but me works here, so whatever. Akio keeps moving her hand as she makes excuses for herself. Is that a subtle jab at the fact that I don't help? No, it wasn't subtle. Grease stains are tough to wash out. I don't mind. They're like medals of honor. Huh. There really is something off about you, Aki-chan. There aren't many high school girls who would say that. That's... Looks like she's finished. Akio comes crawling out. She brushes off her dirty uniform with her hands. Checks are done. Rad. She tucks away her pen light. She was probably just checking to make sure everything is still in order. So, what's so off about me? There aren't many high school girls who would refer to grease stains as medals of honor. Come on. Make it sound like a bad thing. Not that I'm aware of it. Hee-ho. Gotta hand it to you. It's pretty amazing that you admit you're weird. And you wouldn't admit that about yourself, Kai? My gaming skills are abnormal, but I think I'm pretty ordinary in every other way. Oh, please. You're already a weirdo considering all you care about is gaming. Despite the self-deprecation, Akio's eyes are twinkling as she grasps my hand. Is this bromance? Her hand is sticky with grease, but she doesn't seem to care. Akio starts nodding like she agrees with herself. After washing our hands, we close the garage shutters and lock up. Since there are no streetlights near the abandoned airport, it turns pitch black at night, which is precisely why we need to leave before that happens. By the way, as we walk, Akio suddenly pulls out her phone droid. The Fink toy attached to it swings back and forth. It's grimy as all heck. I keep telling her to replace it with a new one, but she seems to have no intention of doing so. I was looking at Iro earlier and saw that the Everyday was being renovated and got turned into Alonso. Wait, really? For realsies. You'll know it when you see it. Everyday is a convenience store near our house. The only convenience store in Minamitane-cho, actually. They started remodeling about half a year ago, so it's been closed. Did they turn it into a new store? Let's take a look on my phone droid. I start up Doodle Map. I use the World Virtual View function in Eero to look at Minamitane-cho. Sure enough, there's Alonso. See? It says 10% off. Let's drop by on the way home. But the place could be loaded with people right now. I can just picture the checkout line. Remember how crazy it was when Everyday opened up? We were just kids back then, weren't we? I think it was the same year the anemone... Akio abruptly stops talking. Anemone, huh? Now there's an unpleasant name I'd rather forget. So, are you gonna try and negotiate with the vice principal tomorrow too? I intentionally changed the subject. For the last 2 or so weeks, Akio's been heading to the faculty room after school. It's not like waiting around is gonna get us results. Quite the positive thinker you are. I often say those words to Akiho. She's always like... Hiccup. She's always like this. Overly optimistic. That's my only redeeming feature after all. Every time Akiho returns those words to me, she bashfully smiles. So you're coming with me, right? I'm gonna be late tomorrow with a stomach ache. Psst, sounds real rough. I think it would have been, I'm gonna sit up. I think it would have been super easy for them to like fall into the trope of like the kid who's what do you call a delinquent? That's what they are. Like the delinquent kid who has like bad grades and is like overly stern childhood friend with good grades. So I kind of like that instead Akiho, like, whenever, like, obviously she's like mad about him with not working on the robot sometimes, but like when it comes to the school stuff, she's not like, Kai, you're being irresponsible. Because I think that's just like more how teenagers actually act, is that one of them's like, I'm gonna skip school tomorrow, and the other one's like, nice. Akio laughs in astonishment. Whenever we go to the hangar, we keep our scooters parked in the lot in the front of the terminal. We live in Minamitanecho in the south. School is 15 kilometers away, so commuting by scooter is allowed. I leave the key in. Nobody around here would steal it. It would be a pain in the ass. Hang on, I need to write something down real quick. Excuse me. I'm gonna write something down. Ha ha ha. And I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm not gonna edit it out. What are you gonna do about it? What are these kids gonna do about it? Alright. I leave the key in. Nobody around here would steal it. Walking around with it would be a pain in the ass. Going straight home? You really want to visit the convenience store, don't you? I'd be fine with B-Coop. So you just want a snack? But it's almost dinner time. Fine. I get it. I'll go straight home. Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm fine. This is like a ritual before we ride our scooters. I always ask how she feels. If she's not well, we rest. And if she still isn't feeling well after that, we leave the scooters here and go home some other way. She was involved in a scooter accident once. Her injuries were minor, but what if they'd been fatal? Straddle my scooter, put on the ugly helmet required by the school, step on the kick pedal, and start the engine. Akio puts on the track jacket she left on the scooter, on the scooter handle, slips on the same ugly helmet, and we're ready. Time to head home. Takes around 40 to 50 minutes. 40 to 50, not 40 to 15 minutes to get from school to Akio's house. By the time we arrive, the sun is long gone. By the way, my house is really close, not even a minute away by scooter. After parking the scooter in front of her house, Akio takes off her helmet and waves to me. Alright, Kai. Nochio. Nochio. This is our unique greeting. In the Tanegashima dialect, it roughly means, let's meet again. Misune originally started using it as a code word, so Akio and I picked it up too. To be honest, it's not something that comes naturally. I have to intentionally use it. Only elderly people use that dialect these days. Akio sees me off as I head home. I cast my gaze up at the night sky. The northern region is steeped in red, almost like it's oozing blood. That's the aurora. It's not quite the same as the famous aurora everyone knows. A beautiful one that's kind of shaped like curtains. Apparently an aurora takes on that shade of color at lower latitudes. The sun is abnormally active now, so this has led to the world being able to see auroras since a few years back. Back then, I mistook it for a wildfire or something in the distance. But now I'm totally used to seeing it. Don't really feel one way or the other about it. As the color of the sky is just another part of my everyday life. My ordinary, unchanging days. My life on this island, repeating endlessly. It's hard to believe that it'll all be coming to an end in 6 months. But for now, I'll just focus on getting home and eating dinner. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the day has changed. And that is the end of the first episode of Playing Robotics Notes Elite like Animal Crossing. Thank you all for coming with me on this journey. Oh, big stretch. I've been recording for 1 hour and 1 minute. I'm going to chop a little bit off the beginning of that, though, because I messed up the intro the first time. So about 1 hour. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow. This is the next 8 months of my life. 111 days to be exact. Because there are a bunch of days that nothing happens on. So even though 8 months is way more than 111, the total series will be 111 episodes. And this is the end of the first one. I'll see you all tomorrow then. Nochio!